Warning, warning, warning. The following show contains explicit language.
Live from the Punch-In Studios on the shores of Lake Erie in northern Pennsylvania, this is the radio program for war gamers, 40K nerds, and beer drinkers. It's your best source for live 40K podcasting that combines the two things we love the most, 40K and drinking beer. This is the 40K show with a head on it guaranteed to leave you a little buzzed. You're listening to the 40K podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday. The different time. We're back. Sounds like the last episode we said we were back. This time we're back from the massive studio explosion, as I like to refer to as the episode 2 round of happy horse shit. So our old system completely exploded. Basically did everything but catch on fire. We found out that once the magic smoke comes out of the machine, that's it. There's no CPR. There's nothing. So that's why we've been kind of absent for the last couple of weeks. Built a brand new machine. Thanks to big shout out to GoGo, one of our listeners and a longtime friend. He jumped in, helped with a lot of the settings that we needed to get going, help us configure everything to get back up as quickly as we could. Big thanks to Phil for pushing a bunch of stuff around to get the finances that we needed to do. I mean, he worked a good 14 hours on that corner. Giving him the business. And if you have to ask what he was selling, you can't afford it. So, special Thursday show because...
Absolutely. It's Free Taco Day.
That's Taco Tuesday.
No, it's Free Taco Day.
It is Free Taco Day?
Absolutely.
Where
Today is.
Where?
It's out there, not here.
Oh, free tacos you meant for
there.
me?
Yes.
Just out somewhere?
Just tacos. I think Taco Bell was giving them out, but it's free sponsorship plug right there.
So Big FAQ 2 just hit a couple of days ago. We've had some time to digest it. That's kind of what we're going to be going into this almost a special edition episode.
Well, now the dust has settled, Spencer. Before we get in, a big thank you from us to you. Well, you're working hard and you resurrected everything and it looks great. The
thanks,
new
man.
image and everything is pretty sharp.
Yeah, Eldanesh did a good job with the logo.
Eldanesh. You know, we're going to make money off that logo. I'm telling you that right now.
we got to freshen things up a little bit. I mean, the old one was what? I mean, 10 years old?
I don't even know what the hell you're talking about.
Honestly, the exchange rate between that old one and this one is, it's amazing. The quality is way better. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, when we did the first one, I think it was before I even knew you guys, and I went and I think I won some contest for, doing your logos or something like that. And then you wanted to do t-shirts, and then you wanted to do church keys, and then you want to do all the rest of it. I'm like, that was great. But, new show, new logo.
That was a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love it. It looks good. I can't complain. No complaints here whatsoever. So, it's Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays edition, or however you want to talk about it.
Thursday. Don't forget, we're going to do 2 shows this week.
I'm getting so confused. We've been working overtime. I don't even know what day it is. We've been doing promotions for past 3.5, 4 hours.
Right.
So, so Thursday it is pretty neat.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So we are going to do 2 shows. We're doing this Thursday show, which we'll release for the Big FAQ called What the Fuck. And tomorrow we'll be doing the Howl at the Moon.
Yeah, Bark at the Moon, Howl at the Moon, any kind of reference that you want to promote.
Yeah,
but we're not going to say what that.
Barking and moons.
Hold on, I got to do that.
You're going to bark at something.
Right.
It's almost the moon. I got the moon in the room.
So
literally,
that one seems like it's going to be a little late. based on when that came out, but because of everything exploded and because of what that episode kind of means to us, the dedication that we want to do to that one, we're going to redo that. So we'll be doing that tomorrow, 9 to 11.
Absolutely. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's going.
No. So honestly, I want to dive right into this. There's a lot of stuff that I want to cover.
Okay.
And there's a ton. Not only did we get the big FAQ, but we got rulebook updates, and we also got erratas for almost everybody.
Almost. Just
Not
a
everybody.
bit outside.
There's a couple of you that were left out into the wind just flapping. You didn't get nothing.
Can I say this? But someone was a bastard.
There's a couple. I think the big thing that's got me excited is they have finalized some match play rules. Battle Brothers is not one of the things, though, that has me excited. And I don't want to start this off with a negative, but it's the first thing that came up. So they have tried to use Battle Brothers as a way to eliminate the quote-unquote soup army. This hasn't done dick.
I wish I had $1 for every time someone said soup. Damn.
Right?
I'd be almost as much as GW is worth
Hey,
now.
George, what we should do is
say.
have a shirt that has just Eddie, the new logo
Soup.
mascot, on like a can of fucking tomato
Like his head
soup.
floating in soup.
Like
That
the,
would be
like the
awesome.
Warhol, like just the can of soup with Eddie. Like
That's funny because you used to before it used to be.
I'm writing
what
that
was
down.
it? Chaos salad was the thing. So
Yeah.
when you were like mixing together
Leaf blower.
all the different chaos forces, it was chaos salad. I guess now it's soup.
So we'll call it soup with Eddie.
yeah, Eddie's soup.
Eddie soup.
But I don't think that the way that they've finalized Battle Brothers has done nothing to eliminate, in my eyes, the fact that you can take a bunch of soup and the Imperial Guard command battery is still there. You can get a lot of command points cheap by throwing in that. You can still do the Blood Angels, Imperial Knights, Astra Militarum army. There's a ton of interactions with those different warlord traits and those the stratagems that it opens up.
Right.
That it becomes overpowering.
The only thing that you got to worry about, honestly, is the chapter proof coming out in a couple months. So you're probably going to save that. You know, for what we're trying to probably discuss today, I wouldn't be surprised if you see a dramatic change with chapter approved to the dose.
Well, I hope so. I hope they're listening. I don't think I'm the only one. I know I've listened to some others that are out there that are saying the same thing. Like you have a left and a right, right? You have those that are saying there is no such thing as soup. There's only a couple of armies. The Imperium, just use the Imperium, Chaos, Eldari, use those, and then everything else in there is just just how it goes. I guess I'm kind of more of a purist on that. I see it as every one of those codex is a different army. And this sounds selfish, but I don't like to have the best unit from this army and the best unit from this one. I haven't played that way.
That's the meta.
And it would be nice to go back to that, where we can just bitch about how powerful this one codex is until the next codex comes out. And then we can bitch about how powerful that one is.
Well, that's how it's always been. Wasn't the 8th edition... wasn't one of the things they said is that they were going to like end Death Stars, or they were going to end the soup or the salad, whatever you want to call it. They were going to end that with the streamlining of the rules. Now it seems like they're trying to lean back into that almost.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. I think one of the
people are going to try to break the game no matter what.
Well, what jumps out at me is one of the things that they said where we want this to be a narrative game. We want you to be able to take the things that you're reading in Black Library that, the Space Marines came down and they helped out the Imperial Guard and they said, "You're not dying today, bitches. We're going to help you out."
Not now, Death.
Except that's not what's happening on the game. That's not what's happening in the game. In the game, the Imperial Guard is the warlord going, "Listen, Space Marine dude, you're going to do that." I'm telling you, I've read enough books. I've listened to enough stuff. A Space Marine ain't taking shit from any guardsman. Possibly a commissar. They'll be like,
hold my chainsaw. And
maybe.
I'll be like, I'd be the rock drill.
Right.
Now, almost in a rebuttal for what you were saying with that, the 8th edition emphasis of chaos is breaking the galaxy, not like the internet, is to where you want to have a strong Imperial force, the chase of trying to capture and get back what you lost with this rift in the galaxy. And so far they were doing a great job with 8, 8.1, 8.2, 8.3, depending on when you want to call it 8.5, with all these approvals with that. These armies are almost out of control. The old school mentality of having a crusade back in the day of 2nd edition is what you see now in 8th. The problem is, and I know a lot of people want to say this, as George referenced, there's no benefit of having a Marine, like you just mentioned, is not going to talk to, a field colonel from the Guard or Astra Militarum. They are going to be who they are going to be. There should be a bonus, and as I mentioned to you yesterday, with this, in wrapping up Battle Brothers, when they go to command points, it should just be color-coded dice showing how many command points you have for each stratagem going to an army. I think that's would be a great thing. And hopefully Battle Brothers, that fix would then reflect that. So, what do you think?
I like it. I think we pretty much beat Battle Brothers over the head with a stick. I do just want to say, again, I don't like it.
I'm going to
Please, G-Dub, please do something.
You know how they're going to resolve this? Fortifications everywhere. Fortification spams are going to come back.
Just anything would be better than this. The other things that they have applied is Psychic Focus. So Psychic Focus is now, it's legit. One psychic turn, one psychic power per psychic per turn. Now, the Smite, adding 1 to that warp charge, whether it's successful or not with the attempt. I see a lot of people that are playing locally and having conversations that, oh no, it's just when you have the successful smite. No, it's whether you fail that or not. It still goes up by 1.
Absolutely.
So it's a good thing to remember.
Yeah.
And it goes up to a maximum of 11. So it never goes up to where it's impossible to cast, where you have to perils to cast it.
Sometimes it's worth periling. But again, I like this. I still use this. I'm currently using it with a Supreme HQ detachment of Inquisition. I used a little bit of theme in my list.
Now, it's still in there that Brotherhood of Psychers from Grey Knights and Brotherhood of Sorcerers.
Thousand
Suns. What the fuck?
Good thing this is taped. Good thing this is taped, right? This ain't live.
It'll be all right. From Thousand Suns, those are exempt from this, so they can still attempt to throw their kind of weaker smite around a little bit.
Listen, if they have the 1 HQ
smite,
listen, it's for demons. They're saving themselves for demons. Don't hate the gray.
I don't hate the gray. We can talk about later about who hates the gray.
I have a Grey Knight army for sale if you're interested.
No. Targeting characters is still it's the same now. It's there. Start playing it. I like this mechanic.
Yep.
I think it brings back a little bit of 2nd edition Hero Hammer, and allows your characters to exist. And the other benefit, new model syndrome. I can paint a character now, and it's not going to die in 13 seconds. Like, it's going to last at least a turn or two. Like, somebody's got to kill other stuff of my army before he or she kills the new thing that I just put on the table.
The only thing you got to worry about with that, Spencer, is airplanes. With the airborne aircraft rules, they go far enough. You could go right behind or off to the side. It's all about positioning. So in deployment, you still got to worry about the ones that go 45, 60 inches.
True. Thanks for destroying my dreams.
No, I'm here. Fill the truth. That's what I'm saying. That's what I do.
Phil, George, anything that you're getting kind of out in your neck of the woods with any of these 3 that have kind of hit? Have you seen?
None of these really have been that big a deal. I mean, there's a lot of guys that play Thousand Suns out here, and
whack players.
I mean, it's not that big a deal as far. I mean, I guess. Not really. I mean, as far as the psychic focus, I mean, not many people are and I'm a little weirded out by this, but not many people are using Magnus right now. I know Magnus is like a fireball or a Death Star in the tournament set, but like just in friendly games, I don't see too many people using it anyways. But I mean, the armies that are going to be based on psychs are going to be based on psychs, and you're just going to be dealing with that, irrespective. But not really.
It's all meta.
The characters rule is. We'll see. I haven't really had a game where I had to worry about that yet.
Yeah, because it's just there. New stuff coming though. That's where I'm getting to.
This is the meat and potatoes right now.
Tactical reserves. So
Yes.
this applies to everybody, including Gene Stealer cults. And there's a little bit of thing in there saying Gene Stealer cult codex is in the works. So this applies to them as well.
I almost feel robbed with that statement right there because robbed. Like someone took my damn money when it happened there because they had the Blood Claw box set, Space Wolves, Gene Stealer cults.
Oh, you
Back to back.
yeah, you were thinking.
Okay,
bang,
I'm
gonna
ready.
get the book.
Move the money. Don't tell the ex-wife. I was ready to buy that stuff. Oh, no offense with the Orc guys. Orctober's here, and I still am waiting. I'm like a kid at Christmas.
Not what? Yeah, and I don't know when that's coming.
Because last edition, and not dwelling on the old edition, I got my book for a month.
Two of my armies are coming out very soon, and it's like making me wonder what's going to happen with orcs and Gene Stealer cults.
I think the Gene Stealer cult will break this rule.
You're probably right.
Go ahead, Spencer. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, that's fine. So let's look at tactical review. So instead of being set up on the battlefield during deployment, many units have the ability to be set up in teleportariums, high orbit, all kinds of other shit that's available. So when you're setting it up, the change now is in matched play, half the total number of your units have to be on the battlefield, and the combined points value of all the units you set up during that deployment have to be at least half. So the change is they used to do power level, but
I saw a lot of manipulation with that
power level. Now it's straight up points. So half your units, half your points have to be on the battlefield.
I think the last tournament that I attended, I did not actually play. They did the power level, but I can just see a little bit of the manipulation right there of adding 1 or 2 units to get that power level bump. But some people don't do that, so I'm kind of glad that they went with the points instead of power level, and it helps a lot of other people with TOs.
The other thing that's happening with tactical reserves is now you can't bring any deep striking, nothing that you've held in reserves can come in until battle round number 2.
The dose.
You can't put it in your own deployment zone, which I love. I use the tactic a lot.
Listen, the Moloch, I might as well just change him into something else.
I use that tactic.
I think GW hates the Blood Angels right now.
They should. They were a dying chapter.
That's the only Marine faction I play.
I'm sure they do. The reason I like it is because there was a tactic that I was using quite frequently where I would put stuff in reserves.
Never worked on me.
And because then it didn't matter if I went first or second or not. Like, I have these units that I can put in reserves, and if I go second, sweet. Because then I can drop them out in my own deployment zone and then shoot the bullshit out of you.
But there's a new stratagem around that.
I was going to say, but there's an adaptation on here.
Now you don't have that. So it gets rid of that kind of... I felt it was a little bit... I want to use the term cheeky, but I'm not English.
Honestly,
so
for what? Yeah, no, and
it's just a little bit of fuckery to be able to hide stuff up, not in a reinforcement thing, but just to hide it from your opponent in the off chance that you go second and then you're not getting your stuff shot. So there's no real downside
for the army that you play. Honestly, that is something that why wouldn't you do that? I mean, you're not here to make friends. You're here to make a tournament. But successful, an afternoon successful.
Yeah, I'm with you, but I like this change where you're both kind of on the same. I like it. I like it.
It comes down next to line of sight blocking terrain from the local events. Because if not, this means nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could take that statement and apply it to every rule that's written. This isn't a flat table kind of game. Like, you've got to have good terrain. Stores, friendly local game stores out there, you guys got to have good terrain. That goes probably farther than getting rid of the funky gamer smell. If you've got good terrain, we can probably last a little bit longer.
Smack the shit up a sticky gamer, man.
Anyways, they still did keep anything that doesn't come in by the third battle round in match play does count as having been destroyed. We are going to talk about there are some exceptions to this.
Yeah.
Well, not exceptions, but some clarifications later on that you can actually remove units and bring them back in. But this is true reinforcement units that you put before the game started on the side of the table or wherever you decided to hide those units. That's what they're talking about there.
All right.
So that's kind of it for the big ta-da.
There was no Rapture after this release from Friday, or last Friday.
I think there's going to be.
eBay sales were okay.
We're going to get into some stuff that I think has changed dynamics. I think it's going to kind of not destroy. I don't think there's anything in this that is going to cause pitchforks to be brought out and fires to be burned and people to be pillaged. I don't see any of that in here. But I do see some game-changing ones.
You're going to see more game-changing as far as people actually changing their list. People, we're all grown adults. Don't meta list. Come up with your own damn opinions and adapt. There are so many entries out there in these codexes in an index that you can just come up with so many variables.
Yeah. Now, they did add an errata for tactical reserves from the beta play rule. This basically applies to any stratagem used that says anywhere on the battlefield more than 9 inches away.
Right.
You're going to be changing that to, at the start of the first battle round, you can move that unit to 9 inches. So instead of being able to pop, strike from the shadows with Space Marines, forward.
Never
operatives
seen that
from
one
chaos,
before.
Clandestine infiltration. You have Craft World with Rangers appear unbidden.
Yeah, no, I've never played against it. Let me clarify. I've never played against that.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think, other than, I don't think any of them, other than maybe something that our buddy Jarmy played with his Harlequins. But honestly, I don't think it was something anything like these.
Yeah,
thank goodness.
Yeah, I would do similar things with my Rangers, but now instead of being able to infiltrate them,
right?
Now you set them up and you get to move them 9 in. You get to move them.
It's like a scout,
up to 9 inches from wherever they are, but you still have to stay 9 from an enemy.
Right.
But it is what it is. Rangers, I used it a little bit, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's one of those things that I should probably be more caring about, but it didn't really affect what I play, so it kind of got pushed to the side as far as whether I
you
gave
said
a shit
that
or
you
not.
would break the local meta if you played your Eldar. Now I'm calling bullshit right now.
That army is still pretty killer. I don't think it's top tier, like super top tier, but I still think there's a lot. Soup armies are the way to go, honestly. Now the way that the game's played, but. That's it.
I have no words.
I'm withholding judgment until I get the Gene Stealer Cult Codex.
I am holding my judgment until I want to see a whole bunch of cool orcs.
Yeah,
coming.
that too.
But we'll see. I don't know if these changes. Now, here, before we continue, you think with the releases of the Codex coming out was in preparation for this release? Or do you just think that it's just going to be, are we going to see something new after this FAQ release? Because we're going into the next phase or evolution of the game. Maybe the codexes that are coming out. Speculation. Nothing warranted, of course. We have the orcs. We have the cult. Yunari. Did I pronounce that right?
Yeah.
Yunari.
Yeah.
Eldar 3.0, however you want to call them. And then the sisters, which, my kid might graduate high school by the time those come out.
They're coming next year.
We got rumors about Inquisition. We got rumors about Rogue Trader forces coming too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for that. Now, again, I'm not going to speculate,
me
but
too.
Staying on task, you think this may have some type of influence for what's coming out the last quarter or beginning of 2019?
No, I think it has more to do with what we're going to see in Chapter Approved. Because that's coming very quickly.
Well, of course, Chapter Approved is going to influence the cult.
We can basically throw a rock at Chapter Approved coming out.
You know what we should do?
Within the next month or two.
We should have printouts, and we should throw rocks when they're released and see who can hit it. I'm like, nailed it.
Nailed it. No, I think that's what we're going to see. I don't know. I would like to assume that codexes that are coming out would have gotten some of this big FAQ and some of this errata, to prepare you for those codexes coming out. But a little part of me still has doubt that they think that far ahead. But I just don't. Dude, Space Wolves had a codex a minute and a half after it came out. They have a ton of erratas. I don't see them planning that.
Shame on the proofreader because he didn't catch all those.
I guess I'll take it back a little bit. They're not worried about it. because anything that doesn't fix real quick is going to be fixed in chapter approved in a month.
Again, even if it comes, look at the translation with the, which we're going to discuss tomorrow with even the sagas. Okay, I get that statement. Okay, from what you said, what we're going to miss, errata, etc. What's coming out now and what you're going to see, I think is, the more I go down this rabbit hole, we could be speculating 100%, and we can do a 180. We can be totally wrong. And then the whole game is going to change.
That is the pure beauty of just guessing out of your ass.
But the only problem that we're getting into, like with this soup thing, and then this whole thing is, I still have 3 books, maybe 4, maybe 3, just 3 books.
Can you count to 4?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So my Nintendo,
just because if I ever owe you $6, I want to know that like at 4.
My Nintendo thumb has a problem every now and then. But.
Too much free porn.
90s were
just
awesome.
So, anyways, now that we've completely driven that train into oblivion, let's talk about why going second might not suck as much anymore.
Yeah. I might start playing Tyranids again.
So they came up with.
Here's the but.
Yeah, they came up with prepared positions. So for 2 command points, if you go second,
right,
you can spend that, and all your shit gets cover.
No, I played that,
but that's it. It doesn't stack. So if you're already in cover, you don't get cover. And it, depending on the army, that could be pretty expensive. Now with orcs, that's cheap as shit. With Nids, that's garbage cheap.
It's selectively cheap.
Heavy tanks, I would probably do that
tanks,
as well.
Vehicles would be the only thing that benefits right now, because of course, as long as it doesn't have the Titanic rule, will benefit a cover. So again, the +1 cover benefit that they will get will pretty much make not an armored unit better or more survivable, because when was the last time you've seen Razorbacks and Rhinos?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what?
Right?
I went to a zoo once, and I
know. Now hold on, I'm not talking about animals. I'm just saying in the
Arkansas Razorback.
If we're talking about the soup, when was the last time you saw in a soup army a rhino or a razorback, or something like that, actually surviving turn 1 or turn 2? Because guess what? First blood.
Yeah. You
like my little sound effect?
I did. That was pretty good. I wish I would have recorded that. I'm glad it was quiet. I'm going to go back and find that. We'll use that one again.
What's the timestamp?
So the way I'm reading this, though, it doesn't say because I'm going to check this out right here. It doesn't say that it stacks, though. It's just saying that it's...
Right, it doesn't stack.
Yeah, it doesn't stack. So it's like if you're playing Tyranids and you've got what you call it, is a venom thrope? What's the one that
there's
shoots
a venom
out
and a
Mayan
thrope?
I can't remember the thrope. That one, yeah. The toxic green does the same thing, doesn't it?
No,
yeah,
the venom thrope does the cloud.
That's not going to matter. It's not going to stack for that, anyways, right?
No, but if you get the ones that have the 6+ cover now, with the benefit, or maybe even a 5+ save now, and then you have Behemoth. We'll get the feel no pain on 6+. You got 2 rolls now, where before it might not even happen with 1.
I like it.
This is Theory Hammer 101 at its greatest.
I like having cover for
Horde armies are going to love it.
I love it for Necrons. Yeah. I like that if I go second, I'm standing out there in the middle of nowhere because I got to get there quick because I go all of 5 inches.
Have you played the desert table here locally?
I can't. I still can't move. I play a lot of troops on the ground, very little vehicles. So there's oftentimes I do deploy out in the middle of nothing because I can't afford the movement loss that it would cost me to set up so that you can't see me first turn. This is just way easier. Bang! I'll spend the 2 command points, and I played
a game.
I will do it quite often.
I played a game with my good friend Eric from Buffalo, and I was telling him about the latest change because the release was Friday, and we played Saturday, and he used it with his guard, and it sucked.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah.
So moving on, I wanted to talk a little bit about farming. So without farmers, there wouldn't be bread. Without farmers, there wouldn't be beer. And guess what? You ain't farming command points no more, motherfuckers.
Yeah. To a point, there could be a little drought. There's a small drought happening right now in the 40K universe.
There's no farming anymore.
It's harvesting. You're farming. You have to harvest.
Now. You're picking fruit versus just leveling a forest. just clear cutting and taking
You're
command
not in
points where you could
Pandora
fight.
anymore.
Yeah, no, not at all. So with the exception of like Moment Shackles, Sevenfold Chant abilities, Player of the Twilight, Warlord traits,
Right.
You can only get one command point back or gain that command point. You can only do one per battle round.
Right.
That means your turn and your opponent's turn. So you can either keep one in yours, and you got it.
Well, you got one,
but it doesn't say you can't try. You can keep trying, but you can only get one.
This is actually a great release for this because now it highlights the books that have more than one relic or one, how should I say this, warlord trait, to where you can fully utilize what GW printed in their books instead of just getting the top tier things. Now, granted, I roll ones like a sumbitch.
You're very good at that.
You say pulling a fill on turn 3? Yes. I have choked many times. Now, if I'm Kevin, who's locally, that guy's magic. He's like David fucking Copperfield, okay?
He rolls
can pull
more
fives.
fives.
I couldn't even, he Yahtzee every time.
It's so bad, his nickname has been changed to Fives.
Right.
Like, he has that kind of nickname. Like, was
Not from
Fives?
Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Like, he's got that hardcore kind of nickname now. And he's this little skinny dude, but
again, this will help open the player's eyes on what they can or cannot do with their book. They're not going to do the meta creep that they see on TV, as seen on the videos all day. They can actually utilize their brain and actually use some other skills. Now, there has been chatter of people benefiting more with the guard brigades, to get all their maximum points. I saw one video yesterday where a guy was talking about having 23 to 25 command points. The guy's not going to farm. He's going to utilize.
That's what. So farming is dead, but it doesn't matter because you're starting with 24, 18, 19, 30. You have the ability, which goes back to why I hate soup. You have the ability to have so many command points.
Right.
This is a good step in the right direction.
You gotta love the title they give to this too. Tactical restraint. They're like, here, there's 7 or 8 command points you could have. No. Just one, please.
Yes.
I'm no restraint here. Only one. We don't want to kill him too bad.
Right. Dear God, man, I'll just take the
Now,
one.
you guys are forgetting that GW threw us a bone and gave us some free command points. They gave us some points. So, I mean...
Well, that.
They went from 3 to 5 on a battalion. Okay. Thank you, sir. Can I have some more?
Did it make it better or worse?
I think it made it worse.
So to have more command points, you get to do more cool shit. But now you can work the system to get even more. And you also have to understand. I think that when they were designing the command point mechanic into 40K, of course, but also into Age of Sigmar, I think they thought that might have been the way around like formations and all of these ways to spam formations in 7th edition. And so if you go and you look at the changes that they've done to Age of Sigmar with regards to command points right now, I kind of understand why they're doing this, because I think that command points almost got a little bit out of hand in Age of Sigmar, and I think that they believe the same thing about 40K. The other point I was going to make is that tactical restraint, they're saying that this is in match play games. Do you think that in just friendly games or in open games, I mean, are we going to be able to still do the farm if you're having fun with your friends or something?
Hold on a second, Spencer. Let me take this.
Okay.
When the hell did you play a friendly game?
I played friendly games all the time.
I had a friendly game last Saturday with, like I said, my boy Eric.
And
I wanted to go for
he
the
was
juggler.
very friendly as he beat your face into the ground.
He beat it. You know what I did?
It's funny is all my friends insist that my blood angels don't get to drop in until the second turn. So.
Okay, so you're not going to whoop ass first turn. You're going to whoop ass second. Right? Not now, Death. We're coming. That's all I'm saying.
So I mean, but see that kind of like defeats the purpose, though. I mean, because isn't GW trying to say, okay, you can have a narrative game, you can have a friendly, just throw, hey, here, take all your models, throw them on the table, play with the models that you have, right? I think that no matter when, I get what you're saying. When they're talking about match play, that's pretty much what everybody's going to be playing, even in the context of a narrative game or just throw all your models on the table kind of game, people are still going to play with those rules.
I think
it's almost like, don't worry about it. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to put caveats in there, to say, okay, this really is only for what tournaments and competitive play, but it's really for everything else.
Well, you can't make fun of rednecks unless you are one, and I are one.
I was born.
I'm too damn dumb to play two different styles of 40K. I can play three different.
If you want to play casual,
games,
play Kill Team.
but I can't play.
Nah,
I can't play narrative and then play this and then go back and play like in a serious match play game and not lose my mind. And Phil, you kind of had the same thing. Like you went to that tournament and you had a mindset of I was playing this way, and all of a sudden they flipped the script and you're playing a completely different way.
Absolutely.
I can't. My headspace now that I'm old, it doesn't fit that way anymore. I need to play one way. Now the attitude in which you're playing, I think, has more. We play every other Tuesdays, or we play every Tuesdays, or depending on how it is. We all have a good time. We play sometimes really dicky lists. Last week, 2 weeks ago, we started a monthly tournament, we play one game a month, and it counts towards a tournament that's going over 4 months. Shout out to Jeremy for running that. But I took the most dickish list I could possibly figure out based on not really what the Necrons could do, but what it could do to the terrain that is available at this store.
You were a whack player.
I destroyed poor Joe. But we didn't have a bad time.
You didn't give him the common courtesy for a reach around.
I didn't even pull on his hair or say his name. It was bad. But we didn't leave like upset or mad at each other. Like it's how we play.
I don't know why I visualized that.
Phil and I often have these conversations of are we narrative players? Are we fluffy players? Are we match players? I don't think we're any of those. I know I will never be back into a pinnacle of tournament play like I was a long time ago, a decade ago.
We've turned into Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You could travel and I could place well. I'm not in that frame, but I'm also not in the frame where I want to go through all of the trouble to pull out all the models that I need for this to not give a shit. To just be like, it's the battle of Big Tooth's blah-de-blah tried to steal groceries from this
the
person.
White Dwarf a couple issues ago had a nice narrative play, which I think we should play one day. I can't recall because I've had brain surgery, of course, but
I don't know.
That might be a day.
I know there is a part of me that will halfway through the thing go, and you die fast. Like,
I'm like, finish him.
So I hold nothing against historical gamers. I think I've known quite a few of them.
You ever play BattleTech?
And no.
No.
But my point here is for narrative gaming, historical gamers do it all the time, and they do it very well. And I hold nothing against them. Some of those guys are
they go all in.
Insane.
Yeah, right? All in.
I researched the uniform on this guy for 14 years, and I waited until this brush was available that's only harvested on a blood moon, and that's the only way you can get this color. And I spent $17,000 on a drop of paint, but it looks amazing, and that's it. But they set that stuff up. A lot of the guys that I know, they set it up in their basement, and then
I'll throw lighter fluid right on it.
There you go. So I can't do the narrative, but I feel like I'm a
that leads to my next question. My next question about and this is my last promise. This is my last question about tactical restraint. Do you think that tactical restraint will, like the fact that you can only get one per turn? Do you think that based on the army fluff that will change? That,
no,
like, say Harlequins will be able to get this, or like somebody else will be able to get this. It's only going to be for that, because it almost they basically said, we're going to give you all these command points because you play Harlequins. Like the guy that I play with here, Chris Faulkner, he plays a mixed list of Harlequins and Eldar, and then there's that one rule where you can farm points through the
whack player.
The Harlequin list. Now, instead of being able to just farm out like 7 command points, and that's like when you roll not just when he rolls, like when you use a command point, he gets to roll to see if he gets your command point when you use that to get it back. So now he only gets that one. But what I'm saying is, like, are there going to be characters? Are there going to be some, like, maybe you're going to get 2? Maybe you're going to, just depending on like the special, those, based on the fluff, I guess.
You're getting
I know
5
they're trying to
to
reel this
6
back
total.
in, but do you think that they will like rescind that rule for like certain characters or for certain armies?
No, I think what we're seeing is command point inflation.
Right.
So, hey, we gave you a bunch. So here's a bunch of money to do stuff with.
Now you
but
can pay
guess
the
what?
taxes.
That shit's going to get more expensive. So they're going to, I see this back and forth of here's a bunch of command points so you can do all the cool stuff that you wanted to. And then, oh, that became super powerful. Sorry about that. Now, instead of 2 or 3, and we're going to get into this later, the 4 command points. In the next 6 years, I think we're going to see 5 and 6 and 7. But
So
at the same
we're still
point,
play testing for GW.
yeah, but at the same time, I think we'll likely see, I can start out with 40 command points or 45 command points. It's just
when
going
their
to get
shares
expensive.
get to $4,000 a share, you're going to see the evolution of the game.
When we get to 9th edition, whenever that happens,
I don't think there's ever been called a 9th edition.
We're going to be able to sit on the porch and go, shit, son, I remember when that only cost me 1 command point. That shit costs 9 now, and I could also buy bread for $1. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
that's what's going to happen. We're in the 1930s of command points.
We're going to be in our
And it's gonna
wheelchairs
just
talking
get beyond
back
crazy.
in my day.
Yeah.
Command points only cost us 2. Now you guys are playing 10.
Yeah.
What the hell happened?
I see it. If they don't do something, one of the things, again, I harp back on Soup. If you stop players' abilities to get these mega amounts of command points to begin with, and you cut down on farming, now you can do really cool stuff. You can do quite a bit, but you can't do it all, and you can't do it all the time.
All right, if I can just put this to bed with the Battle Brothers and this tactical restraint, you're going to see more alpha. Well, I shouldn't say that. You're not going to see. You're going to see probably a change in the game to where you are going to capitalize on your command points when you get at the beginning of the game, and you are going to do the 1-2 punch for probably round 1 or 2, possibly 2 or 3, with this whole command point thing, and then it's cleanup. You have to have a better target priority where you can cripple your opponent and where you can maximize, points, battle points on the field. Whether you're playing ITC, a friendly book game, or anything else, campaign for George, you're going to find it to where it's the 1-2 punch. It's like Mike Tyson. No one ever survived at round 2, round 3 back in the day. And in the younger crowd who's listening, Google Mike Tyson, watch a couple videos.
Yeah, just don't listen to him talk.
Don't listen to him talk. All right, so the only problem, what I'm going to say right now, is you're going to see more Alpha Strike armies probably coming back. Because you know what? They only got 2 rounds to do it.
Can you really call them Alpha Strike armies now? Aren't they going to be...
Call them Beta Strike.
It's going to Beta Strike armies.
Why can't it be Alpha Strike?
Do you think they've moved the... Well, because you can't... It's not Alpha Strike.
You're
like
probably going to see more... All right, here, how would I say...
I'm saying Beta Strike is... You're looking more for that mid-game. Like,
okay.
I count turn 3... I mean, 2-3 is...
You're probably going to see...
mid-game.
You're going to see Alpha Precision Strikes and probably a Beta Strike to clean them up.
So,
You're going to shoot...
deployment.
You're going to see a precision deployment to take out key objectives, characters, or whatnot, to open up, hopefully, the battlefield, depending on it, because you got till turn 2 when all the other stuff comes in, and then the Beta Strike.
Yeah. I can see that.
But it all comes down to meta, terrain, and event. Because each event is going to be different. I mean, again, ITC, book missions, etc. Depending where you play, play local. It all depends on what you want to do. And if you don't like that, play a video game.
Yeah. So our pacing's going right out the fucking window because this is like an hour and we've gotten into like 3 things. So real quick, let's go over some interim balance review stuff. So with the Chaos Demons, they looked at Warp Surge, which could, if you used it correctly, you could get yourself an invulnerable 2+ save. So they've changed the wording on that to now...
I've had that happen to me. It sucked.
Yeah. Use this stratagem at the start of any phase. Select a unit of demons from your army until the end of the phase. You cannot re-roll saving throws, right? But its invulnerable save is improved by 1 to a max of 4 now. It used to be a max of 3. So they've changed that to a 4. Also, with stratagems, some of the other ones that appear to be too effective, the way they wrote them, George's favorite from Blood Angels,
Once Upon a Time
Wings of Fire, is now 2 command points.
It reminds me of that song on Angel's Wings.
And I want to say I think this is solely based on how effective the Smash Captain is.
Yes.
They're trying to curtail a very powerful unit, but in talking to George, and I'm gonna let him talk a little bit about this, I think they're crippling Blood Angels to a point where I don't know how
they're
playable
telling
they are.
you to think outside the box. It's like the Matrix. There is no spoon.
I mean, it takes away the character from the Blood Angels, though. I mean, that's their whole thing, is to to come down on wings of fire, right? I mean, that's the whole fluff side of things, and now they've basically taken that away from them with the second turn deep strike. And then again, now it's going to cost you an extra command point to do Wings of Fire. So it's almost like I don't know, are there that many competitive Blood Angels players that have been just like spamming this and like really just beaten down the meta because of Wings of Fire?
Absolutely.
Have you seen the meta on what's been winning?
Oh, there's
podcasts just on people using that list and bringing it to win championships.
Yeah, you're taking 2 to 3 Smash Captains.
So that's a direct result from competitive play.
You throw in
just remember, keep that
with the Knights.
I'm surprised Auspec's sweep didn't go up in points to counter it, because when you deep strike on a deep strike, you can intercept. It's not like even with the Smash Captain, who you can't overwatch. Well, I got one good turn. I'm surprised Auspex didn't go up 1.
But I don't think it did, because they're trying to break that unit. They're trying to give you as much. One, it costs more to do it, and now we're not going to charge you more to do some of the things that can counter from it.
Yeah. You have all these entries in your codex. Use them. They need box sales for like the Pyrovores. I'm using the Pyrovores.
GW hates Blood Angels. That's fine. That's okay.
And so do I. I think Spencer does too. He loves Dark Angels.
I do like Dark Angels.
They're okay.
I know. So going with what I was trying to tell you, George, so they're throwing Smash Captain in there, and they're putting it with Imperial Knights, which also had some insane stratagems.
That was hold my beer moments.
Right. So 2 command points for Oathbreaker, which you could re-roll failed rolls of 1. That includes hit rolls, wound rolls, damage rolls, rolls made to determine the number of shots fired of a weapon. Like, that's pretty insane, and that was 2 command points. It's now 3. They also bumped Order of Companions. When that was reduced to 0 wounds for 2 command points, you could get back up.
Hold on, I'm not dead. And again, this is at the end of phase, because then you can't just hit him again.
Yeah. No, it's when your army is reduced to 0 wounds. As soon as it happens, bang, Darkest Hour, boom.
Did I read this wrong? So what if I wanted to say, hit him again?
Here. So use this stratagem when a House Tarnius model from your army is reduced to 0 wounds, but did not explode. So you have to roll to see if you exploded. Roll on a d6. On a 4+, set that model up again at the end of the phase. You are correct. As close as possible to its previous position and more than 1 inch away from any enemies with D3 wounds remaining. But that means you could shoot them and then still go punch them in the face. But for 2 command points, you're getting a Titan back.
Hold on. My brain can't multitask at the same time because I'm trying to remember. Okay, so he goes down, say in the shooting phase, or even a hand-to-hand phase. Isn't there certain cards to where, is it immediately? Because at the end of the phase, I can shoot again. Or is it the end of the round?
No, this is end of the phase.
So in the shooting phase, or in the fight phase?
Yeah, whatever phase it was that he went down to 0, when that phase is over, you can, on a 4+, you can stand him back up with D3 wounds.
So say if it was in the hand-to-hand phase, bro goes down. Go carbon.
Yep.
Star Wars reference. Okay, he goes down, plays his strat.
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of fighting phase, can I spend 3 to fight again?
No, because
it's at the end of phase.
Is the end of the phase. If you go to fight again, you're continuing the fight phase.
I thought you can only play the card at the end of the fight phase. Again, I don't have the strategy.
No, it's saying. I mean, we could
because I'd be like, hit him again, Jimmy. Hit him again.
Yeah, no, you're just this is happening at the end, towards the end, but super powerful. 2 command points.
I need a Vect card. Vect will not allow that.
Also, for Imperial Knights, our Darkest Hour went up. I'm sorry, we totally fucked that up. That was Darkest Hour that we were talking about.
Huh. I didn't have it in front of me.
Yeah, we suck. Good thing we're recording this.
Yeah, good thing.
So
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, Order of Companions is until the end of the phase. That's where you can re-roll. Oathbreaker is use a stratagem before shooting a target for Shield Breaker. Man, we should just fucking start that all over again.
What?
Anyways.
Did you mess up?
Oh yeah, I totally fucked this up. I was looking at my notes.
I was on the chat.
Completely read it wrong.
I'm on the chat.
No, Oathbreaker's the missiles.
Yeah, so Oathbreaker is the missile system. I was talking correctly. I just got the names mixed up. So we'll just keep rolling. So Oathbreaker is the missile system.
Yeah.
Order of Companions is the reroll to 1s, and Darkest Hour is where they get back up. So my apologies to night players. Yeah, I just read that wrong. But
you're all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I am all jacked up on Mountain Dew. I tried not to drink beer or smoke a cigarette before this app. The final one is Agents of Vect, and I am super glad this went up. It's now 4 command points because I despise playing against this.
Kevin.
Agents of Vect is yes. So on a D6 you roll, and on a 2 to 5 you get your command points back, but your stratagem doesn't do shit. On a 6 you don't get it, and your command points are gone.
This is still going to be one of the most powerful. This is still one of the most lethal stratagems out there.
So they've added 1 to the command point for it, but they've also put in a caveat for how you can do it. You have to have Cabal of the Blackheart units from your army on the battlefield.
I wonder who did that. To
be able to use this. So you know, it has to be there. The stratagem cannot be used if there are no Cabal of Blackheart units from your army on the battlefield, and cannot be used to affect stratagem used before the battle or during deployment. So that's kind of nice. There's a way that you can get rid of this stratagem by killing all the Cabal of the Blackhearts. Good luck with that.
I would have loved to seen a caveat with this if it said infantry unit only can play this. Because then it would eliminate the vehicle issue that you have with the +1 to hit venoms, etc., etc. Yeah. All right, if I kill technically in a set, and I'm trying to think how this would work. If it was an infantry only model can play, say whoever your leader, I can't remember the name of the army's leader.
The Archon?
Yes, thank you. So that would be a little bit more difficult to pull off because everybody's in a skimmer, in a flyer. So I would like to see that because I despise Dark Eldar myself.
But I like that.
And I said Dark Eldar.
There's some way to get out of it. Also, it's expensive.
No,
4 command points is expensive.
They could probably play that maybe 2 or 3 times.
That's crazy.
Because you know what? I think, and we use Kevin, love the guy. He has 12 to somewhat 14, 15, because again, he has a thing that he can get his farm back.
So he could technically play that 3 times, but that's the only thing he can do.
That's all he ever has to play.
He's got to use them on something else. You got to force him to do something.
You got to know when to hold them and fold them, man.
Well, he never needs to reroll because he rolls 5s like a madman. But I'm saying against anyone other than his supernatural ability to play that way, you just need to cause them make them use stratagems in other ways. Just
again, you got a whole book of stratagems.
Kill Blackhearts.
It's like your job.
Yep.
Not Broken Hearts.
Nope. Kill Blackhearts. So let's get into some errata for the rule book. There's been some changes to Fly. Models of Fly can no longer use this ability in the charge phase. You can ignore the models and terrain in the movement phase, but not in the charge. So 0-inch charges are gone now, which I like. I never played it that way.
Our terrain was so flat we never utilized it.
Just never thought about it. I always measured the distance. Maybe it's from playing so many editions and always doing it. You just went back to a different edition.
I was doing it wrong all this time.
They also changed some wording where similar rules such as Harlequin flip belts and the Canoptic Race from Necrons. They've changed the wording to that as well to say it's only in the movement phase. It's not in the charge.
They were Harlequin crazy flip belts. I can't even explain. Even in Kill Team, they're crazy.
they are nuts.
No.
I like this. I think it's a good change. It just needed to be done. I don't see
had to be done.
You know, I mean, the image of an assault marine jumping off of a building and doing the superhero slam, like fist into the ground land deal.
This ain't your video game anymore.
Like,
right.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dawn of War 3 style.
I was just saying.
Here comes
George.
the superhero jump. That was a cool thing, but it just, I didn't like how units with fly could be in your charge range and you had no hope of being able to charge that. You know, they could get right up to you with no fear of being charged and then just drop on your face.
It was almost a benefit to have the fly rule, especially for like a jump pack. But again, that almost, picks on those Blood Angel guys. I'm like, Jesus, they were whack players. I'm just saying. But one of the things that I would probably say is now it's going to come down to the first phase of the game, and that's deployment. Depending on how you deploy, how you move, measure, and how you set up your army with whatever table you're going with. Whether it's themed tournament style or anything else like that. A casual game for George. A more intense game for us. It all comes down to how we would want to go up and go, what? I just said it's been film truth.
What I was going to ask is for the flip belts, does that still mean that they can jump over and get into combat with they can still select the models that they want to fight? Because that's technically I don't know if that
the only change to that
happens in the charge.
phase. The only change that happened to this was that you can't ignore terrain and other models in the charge, but you can do it for moving, but you can't charge through them. This one kind of got me a little weird with splitting attacks. When you pick the target unit, you must also declare how you are splitting fire at the same time. This all happens before you roll any dice. Yeah, I know. I guess they're just clearing up the fact that, like, tell your opponent everything you're going to do and then do it. Where there are literally people out there, I'm going to select this guy and then shoot at him.
No, I don't want to say
this.
And
then, that didn't die, so I'm going to roll and shoot. It said in the book, like, pick your shit and roll. I don't.
We have someone locally who does that.
Not now. Read words, bitches.
I understand that, but it began with a J and it ended a Y.
Yeah, well... Okay. Knock that shit off. You hear me. Now, this one, I do like shooting one-use weapons. We had very heated, drunken discussions about the must-fire all weapons, and including the one-shot wonders like hunter-killer missiles.
I have 6 of them.
By reading the rules as they were, turn one, if you shot something, those hunter-killers were going off onto something. Now they have specifically, like, good. I'm glad that G-Dub caught this and added to this FAQ. One, it was a very big argument that we had for some odd reason, even though none of us really use hunter-killer missiles. But that they caught a glaring mistake in the wording, and there was no intention for that to happen.
It was funny because a lot of podcasts saw that coming out. I'm like, I didn't know that was in the book. I'm like,
you should have been at the bar with us. We turned people who didn't even know about 40K. They were a little iffy by the time they left. They're like, well, maybe because that was a pretty decent. I'm pretty sure I saw a chair fly over there.
Absolutely. Again, with the hunter-killer missiles, you need to shoot them first turn because you're dead.
I never do. When I played them, I used them as a last-ditch effort of, oh my god, I have no other way to deal with this unit that is in front of me, or I have nothing else left on the field that can take out that giant whatever the hell it is over there. It was always Hail Mary 15 points or 10 points or 20 points, whatever they were. As the point changes have gone across the decades, it was always a Hail Mary. I never used it.
Oh, yeah. It had unlimited range.
Yeah.
Downtown Julie Brown, man. Going down there.
Down by 6.
For 3.
Give it the deal.
Yeah.
Tactical objective number 62 in the big rule book for Witch Hunter. They've also done a clarification. So what you used to be able to do is if you drew this,
it's probably a sister thing.
You probably, but well, no, because there's other psyker units. But you used to be able to pick off one out of that unit. You killed the psyker. Thanks for my victory point. Right. Now they have specified that you have to wipe out the whole unit. That's what they intended to begin with. Like, there's a unit of Psychers there, blow them away, you get your point.
So the Brotherhood of Psychers...
Yeah, any of them that was, Psycher unit, you got to kill the whole thing to get the point.
I don't know. What do you think so far with the rules? Would you utilize a lot of the changes, or have you so far?
Fly, I've used quite a bit.
Well, your Necrons. You hover.
Splitting attacks, I use all the time, but I never had to be told to tell my opponent all the shit I was going to do before I did it. So far, there's nothing nothing from these that are.
I'd almost agree with a lot of them are the same.
In the same light, they also put in here, you can't skip a phase in the game.
This I've seen happen before.
Whoa, what?
No.
What?
Yeah, because there's sometime a cheeky thing. It would be almost like when you're going to heroic intervene. So say I have no one to charge. I don't have a combat phase, so I only have a shooting phase. Like your Necrons. You're not going to charge, right?
Great.
But if I'm 3 or 6, depending on the Space Wolf player, I can declare heroic intervene.
I have skipped shit by accident. Like, I don't think about the psychic phase. That's not intentional. But now...
Would you get disciplined?
But I didn't see...
Like a yellow card?
No, well, it seems like if it's in this, that people were doing it for advantage. Like, oh, you have stuff you can do in the psychic phase? I'm skipping my psychic phase. I don't need that shit happening to me today. That's how this seems. Maybe I'm misinterpreting, but I'm looking for a reason why this would be in here. There's probably some type of weird shenanigans.
The heroic intervene is the only thing I can think of.
I never even thought of that. And I play, I have a World Eaters army, and obviously there's no psychics at all in that. And I've never really thought, I mean, how would you get an advantage out of that?
Well, say, one of the examples that has been thrown around is if you have a stratagem that you want to use in any psychic phase, and you're prepped to do that, you can't, your opponent can't be like, no, man, I'm skipping the psychic phase. Good luck with that shit. You still get it. Super cool. Next one is weapons versus strength. Doesn't have a stat. I like this change a lot. You use toughness instead of strength. So there's no more claiming that weapon can't hurt me because I don't have a strength characteristic. So if anything that attacks, web pistols, webbers, death grip stratagem, those go against strength. You just put toughness there instead.
Right.
Instead of claiming, I'm so weak, it won't hurt me. No, you got toughness. That'll
right. Now, backtracking, someone in the chat, Roka, if I can see bad color in the font, says heroic only happens if there is a charge in the charge phase where it's almost a react. But yes, if you're saying, I don't want to charge you because...
We're gonna get into that. There's changes to heroic intervention. We're going to get into that.
Well, I understand that, but I'm just saying that's what I was saying.
Yeah, but that's
so it was addressed in case we were missing.
We will be going into that, but first we're going to talk about re-rolling D3 damage. If you are going to, if something does require D3 damage, you get to re-roll the 1 and the 2. It's the result of the D3, or buy a D3 from somewhere and roll that instead. They're like $1. Get a couple of D3s. I think they break up the game a little bit. It would be nice.
I have 4.
It would be nice if G-Dub actually, here's
supply
the dice
D3s.
set, here's D3s, here's D6s.
Well, they can. You can use the old jam dice.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I guess I want to buy really expensive dice for no reason. So G-Dub, if you could come up with some D3s, that'd be sweet.
I mean, you came up with D10s for wounds.
I'd like to be able to
charge me $25. I'll get D3s all day.
I'd like to be able to buy a couple of D3s for like $75-$50.
Brilliant.
Just wait for the next new army to come out for their custom dice. Or what, $20?
Make them different colors.
Yeah, I just want and I haven't bought custom dice from G-Dub in a while, but are they still doing the symbols on the ones?
The Kill Team ones, I just bought 2 packs.
Yeah.
There's 1s and 6s. I'm like, I have no clue what is what.
I never understood the symbols on the ones. Like, oh my God, this symbol came up. I'm so like, oh, fuck, that's a...
Remember 4th edition?
Go buy the Zinch dice. You'll be confused.
Oh, yes, the Zinch one.
They just constantly change.
Well,
they have
that
wasn't a 1,
that's the chaos symbol and then the Zinch symbol. Yeah, but remember the old... remember the old 4th edition black Aquila dice with the bullet holes?
I still have them.
The ones
the
are the
Aquila was a 1. Yeah, and you'd be
Right.
so excited. You're like, the Aquila. Fuck you, Aquila. That's a 1. That's
But it
not what I
will let
wanted.
you know, it helps you out with today's aura abilities for your captains, commanders. That allow you to reroll 1s.
Yeah.
So you can easily identify the Aquila ones.
Yep. Moving right along. Same stratagem, different codexes. Such stratagems can only be used once per phase. So
this ain't Oprah.
Yeah, we're talking if you have like in the Chaos Codexes, in the Space Marine Codexes,
right.
They have the exact same stratagem. Just because you're taking from both of those books doesn't mean you can do it. Same wording equals same stratagem.
Right.
But remember this later, kids, because we're gonna come back to this because there's some weird, just backward shit that applies to the logic of this. But we're going to leave that because there's something else coming down that we're going to talk about that the logic here gets exploded out the window. Abilities that affect movement. So if you have a unit that has a minimum and a maximum movement, then both of those movements are affected. For example, with Doombolt, that is half movement. So a flyer would only be able to move half its minimum and half of its maximum. Seems pretty straightforward. I don't have any comment for that one. I don't have anything snarky about that. Like, your shit moves half speed. Ta-da. Yep. Moving right along.
Yeah, just
shooting at characters in the movement phase.
I got nothing.
You can shoot at character any phase for that matter. You're still subject to the target restriction of 10 wounds or less. And no matter when you're shooting at them, they're still under that protection. If they have less than 10 wounds, they got to be closest. Heroic intervention, like we were just talking about this demon.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You can perform even if your opponent doesn't charge that turn. And I'm telling you what, I'm gonna start looking for this.
That's what I'm saying.
Every time.
See,
all the time.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're gonna skip the phase, yeah. No.
I'm gonna.
Hold on a second.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
I mean, I don't heroically intervene with
we still
Necrons.
haven't figured it out how to heroic intervene yet. We started bar fights with heroic intervention.
When I mean I'm looking for it, it's going to be from a Necron perspective. I'm going to make sure I'm not within 6 inches of Space Wolves or 3 inches of these guys, or what if I'm not going to charge. I want to make sure it's something to avoid. And you can't ever intervene in your own turn because you shouldn't.
Where is that located at? We have a listener who wants to know.
What, the heroic intervention?
Yeah.
It is in...
Was it in one of the...
Warhammer 40,000 rulebook FAQ.
Oh, okay.
Under the heroic intervention. Teleporting around the battlefield. If you have a rule that lets you disappear and then reappear somewhere else, like Infinity Gate, Veil of Darkness, when they pop up wherever they popped up to, they count as moving... for firing heavy weapons.
Yes, needed.
Which doesn't affect me from a Necron perspective, but for other things, yeah.
Now, when it says as moving when firing heavy weapons, of course, I'm assuming that would negate I have a unit that's a mixed unit for using Death Watch. Mm-hmm. If I am teleporting onto the field, the one unit negates that. I'm assuming that still stands. Mm-hmm. Right, okay, so.
Yep.
Does that apply to teleport-like abilities too,
so
like Return to Shadows?
Anything that lets you disappear and then reappear. So if you completely come off the board, and this isn't like jumping in a transport and jumping back out. If you pick them up and there is no measurement of movement, I'm gonna put Eddie and his friends right here.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna put Trooper Joe.
Yeah, right. It all counts as firing heavy weapons. Mount attacks. You can only use the mount's attacks for the mount's attacks. But yeah,
crickets.
Like there's a lot of things that I'm like, when I read that, I'm like, well, yeah.
You can only roll ones on a Friday.
You can't transfer the attack to the character, some other cheeky shit like that. So that means this. Sometimes I read FAQs like warnings on stuff, like warning: don't stick your finger in this electric socket while peeing on that electric fence. If that sign exists, that means some dumbass
has done that and
has sued somebody and they've gotten a lot of money.
No, you can't be making fun of people who've done
Caution,
that.
Don't put this hot coffee in the middle of your lap because it's going to burn your junk off.
I'm telling you.
Somebody did that. These FAQs, that means someone was trying to argue in a way
that
they
attack.
went, you're right. We should put this in the FAQ.
So pretty much
that would never happen in a friendly game.
I don't think it happens in a logical game.
I would table flip, but if I could lift it, I don't. What mount would do that? Would that be almost like how they made Chariot?
If you're talking about the Dog and Pony show,
all right.
So they like Tooth and Claw; those are attacks.
Okay.
So people, apparently, people, a lot of them, because these are frequently asked questions, were trying to say that it just gave them attacks to the character so that they could use them instead.
Okay, so the 3+ attacks.
Yeah, so like this, like the
running
Thunderwolf
8
was
as
like, no man, here's my teeth. Go ahead and bite him. Like he had dentures or something, and you could just take them out. And
I can see that. Just roll different color dice.
what? No, you just it's a different attack.
That's what I'm saying. Use different color.
Yeah. Friendly models. So models like teleport homers and infestation nodes, and my favorite little Watcher in the Dark from Dark Angels. Those aren't friendly models, and they can't hold objectives.
They should,
because they're fucking placeholders.
No, dude, they should. I think they should.
They're just a really cool ass token. That's all they do.
I'm just glad that I'm just glad the infestation nodes were finally used, and I like the rock. Finally, we're able to use
the
it.
Tyranid sphincters.
Yeah, that it were like
the butthole of the Tyranid.
Yes. Man, they cannot do Tyranids correctly. God.
Every time you play one of those, that song, and I wish I had it. I'd play it right now. But Butthole Surfers, like that plays in my head. Just watching your little Gribblies, your little just come out of the
Yeah, you always were scared.
My table is
you were
shitting
scared.
bugs.
Yeah, you were scared back in the day.
So that gets us about halfway through. We're going to take a really quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about some missions in the 40K rulebook, and then we're going to get into organized events, followed by digging into the individual erratas that were released and that weren't released for some of those armies out there. We'll be right back.
You only need 2 things to make your army look awesome. Custom stencils airbrush set and our stencils. Now prepare to serve the lords of painting.
You're listening to the 40K Podcast. Make sure you don't miss anything that's going on here at the show by following us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the40K Podcast. Give us a like and a follow. While you're there, join us in the bar. The bar is our free and simple to join Facebook group that allows you to interact with the hosts and other listeners of the show every day of the week. How easy is it to join? Super simple, dude. Just click on the join group button and
Must answer me these questions 3.
once a moderator gets you approved, you can join us at the bar anytime, day or night. The 40K Podcast Bar, where it never closes, it's always happy hour, but it's BYOB because we're not paying your bar tab, bitches. The 40K Podcast reminds you to drink and Facebook responsibly. How about now?
How about now? Anything? Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
All right.
Are we paused?
No, we're not paused.
Nada.
I just, I don't know if it's gonna.
Does an Eldar Warp Gate count as fortification?
No, you can't. Like, I think I don't know.
Are you muted?
Now that I think about it, no,
Well, you
muted.
can hide
I don't
behind
have
it.
any mute. We are rocking and rolling.
Oh, what we got now? Now?
Yeah, we're good. You can hear me?
Did you forget to hit the button?
No. I got shit going.
Boom, boom, boom.
There's got to be one ghost in this.
Ghost in the shell.
Anyways, if you didn't hear that, I'll say it again. Fortifications can hold objectives as long as it can be counted as friendly. But I'd love to hear what lists have friendly fortifications in them. Let me know at info@40kpodcast.com. Hit us up on Twitter, the Facebook, join the bar. Any of those things, comment down below if you're on the YouTube. Let me know.
I think
I
for
don't
the
know. I'd love to
proper
hear from you.
grammar, everything is friendly. So,
No, this isn't a participation trophy.
well, for the nice, the friendly gamers.
It's for the Georges of the world. Everyone.
Jorges.
I put a happy little, like he's painting, and he's like, I put a happy little fortification over here and one over here.
It's your little world.
Hey, I would love
George
that.
is the Bob Ross.
I'd love that.
Okay.
Lost me. I lost it.
Everything's right in your world.
You know what? That's so messed up. I can't do it.
I love Bob Ross, man.
I love him too.
He's
a great
That'll
dude.
mellow you out more than painting miniatures. And
I think the
listening to
guy
Bob
wasn't he
Ross.
drill sergeant?
There's
back in the day?
there's a brewery. My good Jeff and Steve were brewers when I was here in Erie as a brewer instead of where I am now. In their brewery, they have a cardboard cutout of Bob Ross. So you can go there, you can buy a beer, and you can hang out with the cardboard cutout. People get their pictures taken with them all the time.
I had my
So
picture.
I have met Bob
Hey, on my
Ross's
birthday,
cardboard
I
cutout.
had the Dos Equis guy. I said it was my dad in
most-
memory of, and people thought, "Did your dad die?" I'm like, "No, guys, it doesn't look nothing like my dad.
Your dad is the second.
It
most
looks like
interesting
me. I'm
man in the
prettier. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm more pretty."
So moving on, for organized events, putting on the splits. If a unit can be taken in multiples, so for single selections, they can be split up later, like Carnifexes, Lehman Russes, Basilisk.
Yeah.
Should you take 3 of, and then they go and do whatever they want. Each of those selections of 3 count as 1 when determining the rule of 3. So you can take 9. We knew that was it.
Yeah, that's
everybody
just
knew that was it,
official.
but now they've
It's official
made
on
it
paper.
official. Also, these are not the drones you're looking for. If you take drones as upgrades for Tau units, they're not counted as an organizational slot or an organizational slot choice. I.e., they're not fast attack. Honestly, we know how much I love Tau. I give two shits about this.
I'm gonna say it. They're terrific.
Oh, good God.
I'm gonna punch the shit out of him.
Same is the same, except now not all of a sudden. So remember back when I said, hold on, kids, when we have stratagems that are worded exactly the same, we can't use them in tandem. Well, in a spectacular 180-degree turn from that logic, that does not apply to demon princes from different codexes. You can take as many of those bitches as you want. So you can take 3 from Deathguard, you can take 3 from here, you can take 3 from there. You could have 12. So on one ruling,
But would
one
you,
ruling from the Games Workshop Superior Court stated
Would you really?
that if it's the same wording, you can't do it. And then they went to lunch and got shit-faced hammered with other people and read the same thing related to another point, and in the reference went, oh, no, that's completely okay. It doesn't make any logical sense. Which one is the way that they were thinking? Like, you can't even go as intended because now
I
you
honestly,
don't know what they're-
in that point of view, sure, but you're not going to have anything else.
But
I mean,
who
do you
cares?
need it? But, okay.
But no, it's not a matter of would you, should you, could you. It's a matter of can you. So you can't use stratagems that are exactly the same wording, but you can use demon princes from all over the place that are. It's a logical thought pattern that I don't understand. That's not helping with trying to, in those points where you need to kind of look at what was intended. You can't use these 2 examples because they are completely
Moving
different.
on. I don't even know.
Anyways, as a point of note, Kill Team also got an errata and designer's notes as well, but we're not going to be going over that in this show because there's already a bunch of shit to go off. Then you know how much we love Kill Team, but we're not going to cover that with the big FAQ.
I'm fine.
Now we get into individual erratas for the armies that came out. Astra Militarum, bullshit. You're in the guard, son.
I have them. I use these people.
Militarum Tempest Scions in their war gear options. You now have the option to take a hotshot lasgun in addition to the pistol and Voxcaster. The original wording was that you had to switch it out.
Right.
But now you can do you can switch it out if you like, or you can take all 3 options. Ogren Bodyguard and
And I will
Bullrun
take them.
Slab Shields. They no longer add just a willy-nilly 2+ save to anything. That only applies to the regular saves now,
That's interesting.
which is I like.
It's
that.
decent. It's still
Anything
intimidating.
that adds, I mean,
They're a
it's
great
just-
model.
Yeah. Jury rigging, which allows you to heal 1 wound on a vehicle, but it can't move for any reason. This has been changed to once a turn. Wording prior could allow you to use it multiple times, as it states the beginning of your turn, which is in a phase of the game. The beginning of your turn is in this no man's land as far
Purgatory.
as
I would have loved to have this for aircraft.
Oh, jury rigging.
Yeah, but you gotta stand still. And granted, I use vultures, but
Like
I have
what,
to
like
hover.
One guardsman on a 600-foot ladder.
like, hold
just
on, I
trying to,
hold
like-
my beer, and he just hooks up, and he just puts a little tether and goes. Like, slow down.
Take cover.
So I like that. I like that they're addressing that things that are outside the phase when it's now a turn-based thing, not just a phase thing.
Okay. As my mind contemplates, I just ponder.
Taking cover. This was also clarified to only +1 to armor saves.
Yep.
That cannot be applied to invul saves.
Almost to a point to where I thought you couldn't really modify them, but I have never had a scenario
It just
with
said
that.
+1 to there's a +1 to saves.
I can
So
see
that
how
gets
people
put
would
right.
think the invul saves would take.
This one, I like that they're identifying changes here. There isn't room for the way that they wrote this. You can't go
Rules
I
as
have no
intended,
idea what
rules
they're
as
thinking.
written.
No, the way they wrote this errata on this, it's this, not this. It's very clear cut, and it's very. There's no gray. There's no middle ground. There's no black. It's black, white. It's yes or no.
Yep.
And it's awesome. And I hope that they can somehow apply that to future decisions so that there's not as much wishy-washy. It's just a yes or no. Because I, as a gamer, the way I play, I like to be told what I can do and what I can't. I'm not the one that sits in the gray area and tries to figure out shenanigan shit. It's just not my play style. So I enjoy when I can go, no, it says right here, Jeremy, that you can't fucking do that. And then I don't have to have a 4-hour drunken argument over whether that rule
Heroic
actually
intervention.
exists. Yes, the heroic intervention apocalypse of 2018, which was a 6-month argument.
You almost unfriended him on Facebook.
Almost. It was close. I almost unfriended him in Facebook on real life. Like, just up to him and be like,
Maybe
I unfriended
put
you.
his face
Like,
through the screen. Is that what you're
like,
going to do?
I'm not following you anymore. We're no longer Facebook friends. So that's it for the guard. Moving on to the Tau.
Next.
Tau. Oh man, I just realized I wrote that completely the right way. Fok Tau. That's great. There's an update to the data cards for the Tau Empire.
Which is cool.
Automated repair system is a stratagem. Change the first sentence of that to use this stratagem at the start of any turn. I didn't care that much about Tau, so I didn't look at the data card to see what it actually mattered. Savior protocol. Even if a weapon does multiple damage, the drone that takes the hit eats it in the face with a mortal wound. And the attack that triggers Savior protocol must come from a ranged or melee weapon. Psychic powers don't count.
Right, psychic powers.
That's not an attack. Like, they clarified what an attack was. So
Which
we
needed
can
to
use
be done.
this in further rules lawyer arguments of, I'm going to have to refer to something Tau to be like, no, see, that attack here says melee or ranged weapon. So I like that.
I like
and
it.
It doesn't matter. Like, their example was a lace cannon. It does D6 damage. It's taking all of that right to the noggin.
Right.
And exploding in one fantastic mortal wound.
Just psychic spell.
Also, for people who can't read words, a long shot is not a pulse rifle. A long shot pulse rifle is not counted as pulse rifle for volley fire. No shit, Sherlock. Why is this here? The rule specifically states what can be counted. And again, you all know how much I love this army. But you might as well have asked, like, can my cheese sandwich count as a pulse rifle? I can't believe it's not butter.
If you paint it yellow.
No, because it's not listed on the goddamn list.
All right, man.
Like, the exact wording
You're
was
going to stroke out.
pulse pistols, pulse carbines, and pulse rifles. The end. It did not say long shot. Like, it didn't.
They were using keywords.
Ta-da.
They were probably using keywords.
Well, no, it tells you specifically this word, this word, this word. Oh, and no, you can't use that one now in the FAQ because
right.
Why?
Moving on.
Maybe I have more venom towards Tau because I just have venom.
Do you have any Tau players where you guys are at?
Yeah, a couple.
A couple. They're
Facebook friends.
They're okay.
They're fine.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't project my unlikeness of the army onto the person. I don't like people regardless of what army they play. It has no bearing.
Are you profiling me?
I don't like Phil no matter what army he plays. He doesn't. Whatever game he plays, he can be on Xbox.
I cheat to win.
The final one is Master of War. So if a commander uses their ability using, and they call on like Kion or Montka, it hurts my throat to even say these words. It only affects those units that are within 6 inches of the commander when the ability is turned on. Like, pow. You can't move after that and be like, oh, now I'm 6 inches and I gain the ability to advance and shoot. No.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
You can't do that. They've clarified that whenever that little smoke bomb goes off and he's doing his Master of War, it's only that 6-inch bubble at that point. Thank God, man. My throat's burning. I need a drink. Good night. I should have Phil do the towel ones.
I can't read.
Gene Stealer Cult. So Index Xenos number 2.
I don't even own that book anymore. I traded it to Joe.
So they added some wording to this just to add to the clarification. So in the cult ambush,
right?
So you can move that D6 even though it just arrived as a reinforcements. Again, this is one of those ones I thought, well, the rule lets you do this, but it's more of a clarification,
right? Match play.
Yeah, with that using the stratagems like Return to the Shadow stratagem to remove your Gene Stealer cults, like we talked about before, it's not gonna destroy them. You can do that jump around. That's another like teleporty ability.
That has to be a caveat for those type that
yeah.
Type
Well,
of
it's
army.
also very similar to Eldar have Skyleap, right? So they can jump out at the beginning of the moon phase and then they can come back in.
Still, the Moloch
as
gets
children,
screws.
you know, good.
Why? You can only use it for one turn for 100 points.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I don't tell you. Xenos scum as a.
They still don't represent them properly.
I play Necrons and Eldar.
Keep going.
I have nothing to call you Xenos scum about. Speaking of Xenos scum, Death Watch. So they have these targeting scramblers. I do have those over there. These can only be reused to remove marker lights after the entire unit has shot everything.
Yeah, I love that one.
So the way that the marker lights were going is that you shoot those first so that the unit can get
the buff,
the bonus. And the way the wording was before, you could go, nope, those marker lights don't kind of use my stratagem now. Wipe them out. So the unit that shot with the marker lights gets the benefit, and then the Death Watch can get rid of the flashlight marks.
Almost a nerf. It sucks.
Yeah. Space Marines, you can't bring back baby.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
You can't use the Narthicum to bring back the armor cherub after it's used its reloading.
I mean, honestly, don't die on me, baby.
This is one more example of what you were talking about.
This is
before.
what the fuck.
Somebody had to have tried this.
They had to have.
Can I use my Narthicum on a cherub?
Right, to bring it back so I can just.
I mean, I would
reload all the time.
I would.
You can't do it. It's gone. He gone. It's a place marker. But it's that one actually is a place marker that has some stats.
No one puts baby in the corner, Mech Space Pulse says. I was going to say that.
That one does have some stats. You know, it does have stats associated with it. This also, so it's in the Space Marines as we're covering it now, but it also applies to Blood Angels and Dark Angels.
Yeah,
they have the same
the
rule.
Marine and future
What
Marine.
about, can you bring back a Watcher in the Darkness with the Northeast?
I'm going to say no. I'll say it slower.
Spencer, you okay? I don't want you to. You're starting to shake on me. I'm not certified, but can I have your models before you go?
I'm about to start hunting the fallen because during that stratagem, I can start at the first battle round, but before the first turn begins.
Right.
That's when you use Hunt the Fallen. You like that little segue we did there by accident? That was, man, pay attention. Necrons. So for both the Monolith Eternity Gate and the Night Sai Invasion beams,
right,
you now count those models as having disembarked from a transport for all rule purposes. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is the first time in an FAQ that I've had to use Google to figure out what the fuck this word means. I didn't know what penultimate was. So you change.
It's your vocabulary word for the day.
You change the penultimate sentence of this ability to read.
What the hell does that mean? Man?
So it's the second to last. So basically, you know, if you're watching a television series and the finale is next week, the one you are currently watching is the penultimate. And that's how you pronounce it. I looked it all
second
up on
to the
Google.
last. The last would be the ultimate.
The ultimate.
Yes.
So it's the
it feels like a preseason.
It's the ultimate.
I know.
It's the ultimate pen. You know, that almost sounds like D&D. Like, I have been granted the ultimate pen. So I learned new words. We're all smarter now because of G-Dub's FAQ. Thanks,
like
G-Dub. I got a new word from that.
Next.
Hopefully we have another word of the day in the next FAQ or in the chapter approved. Index Xenos 1, Yunari Eldar. So Warlord traits. So the triple Ys, I call them, or the 2 Ys and a V. We can call
Easy, son.
them the Super Trio. I don't know how to pronounce the names. I'm not going to murder them.
Wait till tomorrow when I start pronouncing some Viking words.
Vizarch and Yinkarn is, I guess, how
Vizarch.
The Vizarch, the Wyvrani,
Mo, Larry, and Curly.
Winacarne. I think that's a better pronunciation because that sounds like it's from 300.
I love the Winacarne burrito.
like it sounds like that what that girl whispered from 300. Like the Yarna Carne must be honored. Like that's.
Do you have any Winacarne tacos?
Thank you.
Vizarch sounds like someone that gives you wine at your house. Oh, you're very rich now. I see you have a Vizarch. Yes, I do.
Vine's Arch. Anyway.
They can take Warlord traits listed in the big rule book, and that's it. Only those ones are they open
until
to.
their book comes out.
Yeah, which I don't know if it will or not.
It will.
Also associated with them with the stratagems, if you've got Craft World, Drukhari, or Harlequins, that opens up the stratagem for them, but not as an auxiliary support detachment.
I have heard murmurings about Exodite armies too.
I have murmurings in my stomach, and I think
would be very, very cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome for Kill Team.
I'd be stoked about that.
That'd be awesome for Kill Team.
So,
I was hard on this one.
Phil's favorite deal.
I've used this.
Do you want me to read this?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. I'll let you represent.
So pathetic slime. I mean pathogenic slime.
Pathetic. It is pathetic now. It is pathetic.
So this used to be very cool. Right?
Absolutely.
So because you could use it whenever the hell you wanted to.
Yep.
Now you have to plan some shit out.
Mm-hmm.
You pick that at the beginning of the phase now, not when. Because Phil, maybe you want to go and explain how you use it.
I would determine all my hits and then.
And then play that on there. Like I'm going to do extra damage.
Oh, I got a couple.
Boom.
Boom.
Yep. Nope, that's not happening anymore.
Now it's the roll of the dice.
Yeah. So you got to pick them first, and then go get you some with that whatever you picked. Instinctive behavior.
I might use it every now and then.
They have determined that it is in effect for Tyranids that are embarked in a fortification. So if they're shooting out of a fortification, you suffer the -1 from instinctive behavior. I'm assuming because since you embark in a fortification that you're off the table, and that's why you're out.
Technically, yes, that's what they said with transports or anything else like that. So I can see that.
Yep. Imperial Knights, it's a burden for everyone. Freeblade model in a super heavy auxiliary detachment can have qualities and also the burdens.
Oh, so they can now?
They can now, yes.
That's horse.
Death Grip, if you charged, you can only use the Death Grip stratagem against units that you declared the charge on. Because you can't fight units you didn't declare a charge on, shockingly. Like you can't use that stratagem if you consolidated into another unit in that.
Okay, I can see that.
Or you couldn't use it on something that for some reason had a death wish and heroically intervened because you can't punch them because you didn't charge them. You can't use it on them either.
I can see that.
So pick now, damage later. When a vehicle or monster is destroyed with the Thunderstrike Gauntlet or the Peregrine Gauntlet or Freedom's Hand, you pick the unit as soon as it happens. So you pick the unit,
right? But you
apply the mortal wounds that can happen after everything else has been done. So it explodes. You smash the tank. It explodes all over the place. You have the potential to do the mortal wounds, and you apply them after all of your other attacks have been done.
Oh, okay. I don't play those things.
One at a time. No matter how many shield breakers you have, you can only shoot one at a time. Like that's it.
But wouldn't you have to call your targets?
But you can, but you can only shoot one. You can even if you have 4 equipped, you shoot one.
Okay.
Craft World Eldar. This one I found interesting. You got to stay down. You can't use the Phantasm strategy, which is very similar to the Necron Deceiver. Where you can redeploy up to 3 units, right?
Okay.
Straight asshole trickery. I love it. And I'm very disappointed in myself that I didn't think about this.
You don't play Eldar.
Using the Webway Strike stratagem to deploy the units, and then you could pick them up and put him in reserves.
What?
How awesome
Yes.
of a trick was that? That's
I've had that pulled on me before.
Really?
but,
Yes.
but you can't do it anymore. They called straight up bullshit on that, and
I've
that
never
is
seen
not-
that happen before.
It's a thing of beauty. It
Jeremy
really-
hasn't tried it. I'm very disappointed Jeremy hasn't done that.
It's great.
Really?
So once you deploy, you can't.
I didn't know that.
Can't put him in reserve.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's cool. The Phoenix Gem is now so-so. So attacks against the model wearing this are resolved one at a time.
Oh, okay.
And then if it kicks in and you stick around, you get the glorious unfortunatenism to keep making saves.
Is that
if
a
there's
word?
any to make. No, I just made it up. Write it
Okay.
down. It'll be in
Alright.
Webster's next week. If there's
Goes with penultimate.
if
Thank
there
you.
are, if there are wounds left over after you get back up, you keep taking saves. So the Phoenix Gem isn't as awesome sauce, I think, as it used to be, because I think it was played Phoenix Gem. Those wounds are thrown away. I get back up. I'm good to go. That's not the case anymore. You get back up. You're still getting hit with all of those wounds.
That's
Very
funny.
very story driven. I can appreciate
It's
that.
like, keep him up.
Yeah, but punches him right in the face.
Silly aliens.
Death Guard. There can be only one mortal wound. If a unit is benefiting from both Blades of Putrefaction and the Virulent Blessing
Blessing,
psychic
yeah.
power, when you roll the 7+, you only get one mortal, but you still damage. You still double the damage.
Okay.
Right, so it was double damage plus 2 mortals. It's just you just get one.
Oh, you just get the one. Well, it's almost like the Reaper, where you'd have to, double. If on a 6, you double the damage, and then you had Toxin Size or something like that. It always was. Yeah, I can see that. Similar.
Moving on to Drakari.
The who?
What? So I'm going to read this one word for word. The Vexeter Mask Relic can force a charging unit to attack after all other units have fought, unless that chosen unit has an ability that allows it to fight first in the fight phase, in which case it instead fights as if it didn't have that ability. I have read this about 150 times now. I
have no clue
and I
what the hell
still
you
don't
just said.
understand what the fuck it means.
And you probably wrote it wrong. I have no clue what you
I
just
didn't
said.
write
right
it.
there.
I copy pasted right on the. I don't. I'm reading right.
I have
from
no
the
clue
thing.
what that means.
Here's another.
I don't even think
here's another
Kevin
play
uses that
Here's
local.
another play at home, kids. If you play Drakari and you understand what this means, I would love a layman's terms explanation, because
Someone send him a message.
I really have no clue. What
Max Space Wolf says, Drew Carey?
Yeah. Drew Carey apparently can wear a
Yes.
mask and confuse the ever-loving shit out of
I have no clue what you just said on that.
That's I'm not bullshitting you. I have no idea what this means. I have no
Some bitch.
recollection, and I've spent a ton of time. I read the book today.
Well, guess
I
what?
read the Codex today, and I still don't understand.
You know what? I'd just say next.
And I think maybe that's why
No
Kevin
one-
must be
no-
a smart. People who play
He
Dark,
doesn't play it.
People who play Dark Eldar must be smart ass people. In one of two ways, they're either
shifty.
really smart and
They're
they're an ass, or they're smart asses.
They're shifty.
They're shifty. Moving on, if you give a succubus a cracker, so if for some reason your succubus is given serpentine combat drugs, this does turn their weapon skill into 1+. So if by an
Is that what the
opponent ability-
modifiers?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you suffer a -1 to hit, 2s are hits, so they're not eligible for rerolls. You only automatically fail on a natural one.
So the modifiers of a 2 go into a 1. Are you sure?
That's
Okay. I respect it.
Imperial Renegade Knights. This
Yeah.
is the most excited about narrative play I have ever gotten in my entire life. A Renegade Knight character can summon units of demons
That's
using
awesome.
the demonic ritual.
That's
ability.
awesome. I was going to say that's awesome.
This makes me want to play Renegade Knights for no other reason.
It'd be
than
cool in
I
kill
have
scene.
one.
for the movie magic of motherfucker what? And demons come out of the ground from a giant evil robot of doom and destruction. It's
That'd
a
be kinda
heavy
neat.
metal album just waiting to happen, with just the craziest Burning Man shit happening in the background, and demons throwing up over themselves and falling all over them, and just one
Well,
really
Slanesh
weird
is
dude
coming.
with
So
3 teeth and 2 eyes. One's
No, I
crooked and
have
hanging
an
down.
Imperial Renegade Knight that I might build just for this.
Imagine how
cool.
scary that dude is that's piloting that
no,
Imperial
he'll
Knight.
probably. You know what he'll do? He'll roll 12s. He'll probably kill himself.
That guy inside of that is crazy. So he's either super death metal, awesome, eating babies,
he's listening to Yanni,
or the inside of that thing is all like My Little Ponies and princesses.
I was gonna say, but you know where you're going.
You know, he's like, it puts the lotion in the basket. Like one way or the other.
I'm a pretty princess.
Yeah, he's crazy. He's crazy as shit, and I love it. And I will at some point do that list because I just think it's awesome.
That's kind of neat.
They also suffer from the same updates that the Imperial Knights got. So the Death Grip deal, the pick now, damage later, and the one at a time. Also, these titles aren't really in the
That's just
FAQ. It's just so you can relate to some shit later on.
Which is cool because I'm kind of glad that they got that love.
Also, as a super added bonus, if you are super addicted to scrolling down for no good reason, there's 3 blank pages at the end of that errata. There's just nothing. Yeah. You just scroll forever. It's great. You just use the little mouse roller thing. Oh, days. It's like a fidget spinner FAQ.
I'd fidget spinner. That's awesome. It's totally unrelated, but speaking of fidget spinners, I was doing my research yesterday. Fidget spinners. Keep that in mind.
Wait, you were doing research about fidget spinners?
No, I was doing research, and I was watching. No. Let me finish.
Were you wearing a lab coat?
I was wearing a hoodie.
Okay. Was it white?
Qualified.
Was it a white hoodie?
It was gray. I look better in gray.
So
brings out my eyes.
It's more of a Gandalf research
the gray.
project.
Fill the gray. But anyway, wait. I shouldn't say that like that. Fill the gray. Anyway. I was watching G.I. Joe, the first one, the movie on Hulu. Right?
7,000 lasers, no one dies?
No, this is the real life one. The really bad one. Yeah.
Oh.
And you know what?
You felt bad about your life after that.
And, Storm. The white ninja guy. Who's the white ninja guy? Snake Eyes is, mortal enemy. I just went back. Storm Shadow?
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Storm Shadow. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I think so.
I don't know. It's a 40K show. I don't know.
His little shurikens?
Shurikens?
Shuriken. It was his fidget spinner. Awesome. I'm like, no shit, he has a fidget spinner.
Oh, he had a ninja fidget?
Yeah, he had ninja fidget spinners. He's just zinging them out.
So now that fidget spinners are a thing, do you think they're in the year 40,000?
I think the Dark Eldar use them.
Fidget spinners?
I think the Dark Eldar use them.
Well, do you think there's Chaos Star fidget spinners?
Absolutely.
Like 8-point ones?
That'd be awesome.
If there isn't, somebody should make that shit. That'd be really
Continue. Cool. I don't want to. It was just
moving on to demons. Here's another one that I don't see anything changing. I see a word change. If your army is led by a warlord with the demon faction keyword, you may give one of the following Hellforged artifacts to a character with the demon faction keyword in your army. It used to read artifacts to a demon character.
Okay,
so again, I think it's just a
proper
word
English,
switching.
probably like the translation.
I don't really see any. I don't see this. Maybe I'm missing something again, but I don't see where it is. Moving on to AdMech, everyone wants to be like Mike and the Imperial Knights. Basically, everybody got all the knights from AdMech got updated to reflect the Imperial Knights. So AdMech Knights now have keywords Imperial Knights and Questoris class, and shockingly, they can now walk over swarms as well as infantry, because before small bugs scared knights dead in their tracks, like they were fucking scared of spiders.
Well, they were just so many they couldn't lift their leg. They couldn't lift their leg.
I had
that was
visions,
a design flaw, and I've done that move before.
I had visions of an AdMech knight standing on a chair screaming about ants running all around it, like you see those old 50s housewife commercials where
I say that when I see bees.
A knight wearing a polka dot dress screaming about bugs. Yep. But they don't have to anymore because now they don't have to do that. But they had to write an entire paragraph to add 3 words to that. To add and swarm models, they spent a whole paragraph.
They had a page to take up.
When they do this wording thing, I go word by word by word by word to find, the differences. And sometimes I'm a slow reader, my R's are backwards and I write with crayons and shit. It took me 10 minutes to find the difference. And then at the end, I'm like, are you shitting me? Couldn't you have just said add and swarms? And I would have known. But it was a fun little pastime. I got to spend, some time I didn't want to trying to figure out what the hell they were trying to do. Further on into that, Reaper chainswords are now up to 6 instead of the 4 that they were.
Needed. Needed.
Power levels, real quick, 22 for Errant, Paladin, and Warden 23.
No one uses
and I'm
them.
doing this for George's benefit because he's
I was going to say,
player.
no.
Gallants are 20.
What's that meme? I look back. No one cares.
Cricket. Crusaders 25. All of those knights are now 285 base cost.
Right, they need to
count any of the weapons.
Yeah,
it's the same damn thing as the Codex. Avenger Gatling Cannon is now 75, and the Knight Gallant gains attack to 5. And the damage table for the weapon skill goes 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Not 3, 4, 5. Also, the stratagem for rotate ion shields. They used to be 1, and it was only keyword associated to the AdMech. Now it's the exact same one as in the Imperial, so it's a 1-3 depending on what class of knight you're using, whether it's the big heavies or the lighter ones. It's a 1 or 3. So for Dominus class, it's the 3+. Everything else is the 1. And it affects all Imperial Knights in AdMech, not just the Questor Mechanicus ones.
Oh, okay.
So it adds the +1 to an invul save to a max of a 3+.
Now we're getting to the nitty gritty.
Bringing up the ass end of everything, there were no updates for the following codexes.
Another fat kid got picked last.
Custodes, you didn't get nothing. Chaos Space Marines, y'all didn't get nothing. Thousand Suns, you didn't get anything. And Occupying the Basement like the Baltimore Orioles, batting 285 with a 300 win percentage is your favorite and mine, the Grey Knights. They haven't gotten an update since 4 of 17.
You know, I think I'm going to use those for Space
Hulk. Shit about the Grey Knights Codex, and
they're going to come back. They're going to come back. They're coming back.
They need help. Like that army specifically, very elite and needs help. You don't see it anywhere.
Them and Death Watch and everything else.
I mean, you put yours into stasis
cryo
mode.
sleep. I'm going to use it for Space Hulk, I think.
Yeah.
Something.
So
I get the itch to make the Grey Knights good again.
Yeah.
I would say great again, but
that would be a great campaign. Make Grey Knights good again. Make the Grey Knights great. GREYT.
We have a rally on Wednesday, 7 o'clock. Well, that's it. It's kind of crazy. Great job, by the way. I noticed your medication kicked in.
It did. 3 beers, 4
There was a couple
later.
listeners that were typing in the chat concerned.
That break.
So I was wanting to just bring attention to you.
What had happened was some blood got into my alcohol stream.
Oh, I see
that screws me up every time. So during the break, a couple of beers.
It reacted.
Good to go. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We are going to be back tomorrow. If you're watching the live show, if you're watching anything that's recorded, tomorrow is not going to make any sense to you. But we will be recording another show.
It's like a fabric wrinkle in time.
And we're going to be making up for the one that we missed last month, so that we'll be on. We'll be back on track. So episode 3 will be Space Wolves. We will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Do you know how many times I see posts online that show Nuln oil spilled all over the place like an oil spill from the Exxon Valdez? Way too many. Never spill paint pots again with KW Design's anti-spill paint pot holder. And the way you people spill washes, at only $3.50, it pays for itself in the first 2 minutes of your painting sessions. They also carry a range of custom printed bases, and as a Necron player, one of my favorite items are the custom monolith crystals. They glow in the dark. To check out KW Design's eBay store, visit 40kpodcast.com/sponsors and click on the KW Designs banner. KW Designs is a proud sponsor of the 40K Podcast. Thanks for listening to the 40K Podcast. We hope you liked the show. If you did, there are a ton of ways you could help support the show. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Visit our website for all our social media links as well as a schedule of our next live shows. If you're listening to the recorded version on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and make sure you click that fucking notification bell so you never miss a show. An audio-only version of the show is also available on iTunes and Google Play. You can also subscribe to hear us right here on Twitch. If any of that is too much of a pain in the ass, dude, just tell a friend. We'd really appreciate it. We're gonna go sober up, so we'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace, bitches.